Welcome back to Live with RXMuscle's Iron Road to the Olympia, brought to you by SciTech Nutrition. Visit scitechnutrition.com. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today's guest is IFBB Men's Physique Pro, all the way from the UK, Ryan Terry. Welcome.
Hey, hi guys.
Ryan, you're like a bit of a social media star, I would have to say. You have a tremendous following on Facebook and Instagram. I mean, you're in the hundreds of thousands. I think you have 600,000 Instagram followers. That's just unbelievable when you think about it, the scope of how many people are out there. Are you blown away by that?
I am, yeah, Dave. To be honest, it's very surreal for me to obviously have that type of following, because I'm a plumber from England back in the day. So for me to have that type of following is still very surreal for me. But I am grateful and appreciative of it.
Why do you think so many people follow you? What do you put up on Instagram that people find so intriguing?
To be honest, I've always stayed the same. So I've always tried to promote a healthy lifestyle. I've tried to be true to myself. So I've not tried to portray a certain character or anything out there. And I've just been honest with how I train and how I eat and the way I am. So I'm hoping people are liking that and they're tuning into who I am.
Do you think it's? I see the pictures you have up there. There are a lot of ab pictures. Your physique looks great. Obviously, you put that up. Do you think you have a lot of women, or do you think you have more gay men after you? Which do you think it is that are following you?
A follower's a follower. So,
yeah, no, I know, but
I'm happy either way.
What's the demographics? It doesn't matter. I'm just saying. What do you think it is? Do you get a lot of women, sending you emails and stuff like that?
Yeah, I get mixed, to be honest. I would say it's around 50-50. So I've got a good span on both markets there.
Now, you made a real mark at the Olympia last year. You placed fourth. Some people thought you should have been higher. I mean, it was a very dominant look you brought to the stage. You became the proverbial dark horse we talk about out of nowhere to shock kind of that top 5 lineup. Did that change your life a lot?
It did massively. It was even thinking about it now, I get shivers, and a very surreal moment for me, that, because for me it was my dream as a competitor to step on the Olympia stage. So any placing for me at the time would have been amazing. So to break the top 5 in my first year was a dream come true, and to stand next to the likes of Jeremy Buendia, Sadik, Jason, and all the top athletes in the world, and to place fourth, I was over the moon with it. And yeah, it has changed my life dramatically.
Now, after that fourth place finish, a lot of people, myself included, we thought we were going to see some really big things. I actually thought maybe you had a good shot at winning that Arnold Classic that took place at the beginning of this year. You wound up fourth at that show. You didn't look like the same guy you looked like on the Olympia stage, and I really didn't find out till just when we started talking before the interview what had happened to you. Explain what went on after that Olympia and about the trip to South Africa.
I didn't highlight it too much because I didn't want people thinking I was making an excuse, and at the end of the day I still stood on the stage and I still gave it my all. But 2 weeks prior to the Arnold Classic, I did a tour in South Africa with my sponsors, and I was a bit silly really to go out there 2 weeks before a show, because obviously my immune system was quite low, and I managed to catch a parasite out there called amoeba, and a few bacteria, candida, yeast infection, which really did affect me. As you can imagine, I wasn't digesting any food for the last 2 weeks, and I was on the toilet more than I was off it, shall we say, every day in the run up to the Arnold. So it was affecting my physique, it was affecting the way I looked and my confidence. I still wanted to do it. I didn't want to let my sponsors down, I didn't want to let my fans down, my friends, my family. So I did fly out and I wanted to give it my all. So I did, and at the time I managed to stem it until backstage, when I didn't realise what I had at the time, and I put sugar, raisins, as bodybuilders do, men's physique guys. I had raisins, honey backstage in order to get the vascularity and the pump for stage, which I didn't realise that's one of the worst things you can feed a parasite, because it aggravates it. So I was very uncomfortable on stage. I was cramping, and my stomach was very bloated. So without making too many excuses, it was not a good showing for me, and I wanted to get it over and done with and get out of there and try and fix the problem. And that's why I've had a quiet year this year, because my off season has been primarily getting my health back on track, sorting the Parasite out, which I've eventually finally done, and focusing on this Olympia prep.
You're in South Africa. What were you drinking out of, like a river or something like that? How do you get amoeba? How do you get an amoeba in South Africa?
It's basically two things. I go to South Africa every year, and I do the same tour every year, and I've never had a problem. But it's the first time I've been whilst I've been dieting, and obviously the body fat's a lot lower and the immune system's a lot lower once you're down to the low percentages of body fat. So I would normally have ice in my Pepsi Max or in my drinks and stuff, which is from normal water over there, which has never been a problem before. But that was the starting point. I was starting to get things from like the ice and from how they clean the salad and things. And then we went on, it was like a 19-hour filming day. So we was doing a lot of promotional filming out in the sticks. So we were having food made for us out there. And to be honest, I could pinpoint it down to one of the meals, which came out a bit dodgy looking. But as you know, when you're dieting and food's placed in front of you, you'll do anything, you'll eat anything. So I got it down me, and within 4 or 5 hours of eating that, I was quite badly on the toilet. So it was definitely that meal there.
How do you get rid of a parasite like that? What kind of medications were they giving you?
Yeah, so I had to go to London, because I'm northern based in the UK, so I'm from Sheffield. So I had to go down to London to a private medical centre who did all my testing on my intestines, like my long and short intestines, to see what I was susceptible to and what I had in there. And when we finalised and realised what I'd got, I had to go on quite a strict 10-day antibiotics course of antibiotics. And the food ever since then has been very regimented, like a bodybuilder would, but it has been for quite some time now, 6 months, where I've had to regulate my gluten, so my gluten intolerance. I've had to, obviously, because of the yeast infection, I've had to take the dairy down, take the onions, garlics, certain things in food types which irritate things like that. So until I can finally get rid of it. And I've managed to find an eating pattern now which has stemmed it, and I've had a really good 12-week prep now.
Will we see the best Ryan Terry up on this Olympia stage in less than a week?
Yes, I can promise you that. For me, I've got a point to prove to myself. A lot of people, and I can understand why we're at the top of our game now, so I can understand people writing me off now. So for me, I've got a point to prove to myself and to everyone out there that I'm not quite done yet, and I can be just as good as I was last year. And I'm hoping to try and break that top 4 and improve on last year's placing.
Obviously, you're going to have to contend with the reigning Mr. Olympia, Jeremy Buendia. You'll have to contend with the likes of Jason Poston, Brandon Hendrickson, who won the Arnold, George Brown, who's been on a hot streak lately.
Definitely. Like I say, all of them physiques are phenomenal, and they've definitely been on my radar. But for me, this prep wasn't about anyone else. This was about me getting back on that stage, getting my confidence back, and if I can bring the package what I've got now, and I'm happy in where I'm at, if I can bring that to the stage, then I'm hoping I can get in amongst them and cause a stir again.
The good thing you got going for you is, once again, you're kind of like the dark horse. No one has seen you all year, pretty much, and you're kind of off everyone's radar, which kind of makes you a dangerous guy in that lineup.
Yeah, for me, it swings and roundabouts with that, because obviously you're not in the limelight, you're not promoting yourself, and you're not at the forefront of everyone talking about you. But at the same time, it's a good thing where you kept your head down, you've got your focus on the gym and focus on your nutrition and getting your prep sorted, rather than having the pressures of people expecting you to do well and win there. So for me, it's been better mentally for me, and I'm more than ready, and I just want to hopefully do the business on the day.
Right. Now, you turned pro back in 2013 at the Arnold Amateur in Europe.
Yes.
So you came from a different farm system, as we like to say, whereas a lot of the guys that are the top men's physique pros right now came from the United States. Did you find?
Yeah.
Did it feel like it was a harder, I guess, climb for you to kind of make it in men's physique because you came from Europe and not from the United States?
Yeah, to be honest, it was a very, very tough ride to get my pro card. In Europe, they're very, very strict, and you have to pass quite a few hurdles or get over a few hurdles to get that pro card. So in 1 year, I had to win the UK National Championships, which then qualified me for the British finals, which I had to win that, and then I had to win the Arnold Classic and the overall Arnold Classic. So there was 110 competitors in one class, in my class,
oh my God.
At the Arnold Classic. So it was a massive lineup because at the time they didn't have the height ratios, so the different height classes. So we're all in one class. So as you can imagine, trying to go through 110 people on stage was quite tough. And yeah, I was very fortunate enough to win that in the overall. And yeah, I got my pro card. I was the first pro from the UK, which was a great achievement for me.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. You kind of are leading the way, leading the charge, so to speak. Now, I heard a rumor that you're planning on moving to the United States. Is that true?
I am, yes. Yeah, it's been on the cards for the last year, should we say. I've been waiting to get a few things in place. And yeah, I'm looking towards the Florida, Fort Lauderdale place. My sponsors now are set up there, and they're really doing well out there. So for me, it's I think it's time to step up my career, and that's the way to go, really. And being in the UK, I'm quite stagnant here. Once I'm in America, things start happening, and you can obviously liaise with other people and things like that. So for me, I feel like I need to do that to carry on with my career.
Well, obviously, coming to the United States, you will have a lot more competitions you can, go to, compete in. Yeah. It's a lot easier to access. The weather's a lot better, that's for sure, in Fort Lauderdale than in England, I'm sure.
That is very true. That is very true. Yeah.
It seems like everyone is.
I'm looking forward to it. I'd love to. Obviously, all being well at the Olympia, it all goes well. I've got the Korean Grand Prix straight after there, and I would like to step on the Arnold Classic stage again early next year, because for me, again, I've got a point to prove to myself, and I would love to try and hold the title as an amateur Arnold Classic and a pro Arnold Classic winner.
You got a great physique, Ryan. Would you ever consider moving to the classic physique division, or are you happy in men's physique?
To be honest, I would love to move over to classic. I love the men's physique division, and I know I'm finally just starting to fit into the criteria of the size for men's physique. But as a big fan of bodybuilding and a follower of bodybuilding, for me, I would love to get my legs out and show my overall package one day. So for me, it doesn't make sense at the minute for me to do it, because obviously, if you look at the likes of Sadik, Arash Araba, who phenomenal physiques, but they're dense in muscle. And for me to stand my own against them, I would need to have a good off season and put some more size on. So for me, one day I would love to step on stage and get my legs out and do the old golden era posing. But as it stands, I'm comfortable in men's physique at the minute.
Yeah, I mean, Johnny just put up a great picture of you hitting a double bicep pose, and I think no one could deny that you certainly could stand with these classic physique guys. I mean, you got the conditioning, you got the muscle shapes down.
Thank you.
Why do you think why is everyone moving to Florida? I'm moving to Florida, so I shouldn't even ask that question. Why are people moving to Florida? It seems to be the new hotbed of bodybuilding. You notice that?
Yeah. For me, it's like I say, USN have set up there, so it makes sense for me, sponsorship-wise and promotional and work-wise, to be there. And also, it's an absolute beautiful part of America. I've been there a few times now, and I feel at home there. I know it sounds silly, but the weather, I could get used to the Florida weather. And my friends out there, Flex Lewis, obviously he comes from Wales, from the UK, not far from me. And he's been great to me over the last few years. He's been a great role model, and he's helped me in a lot of ways. So it'd be nice to be out there and hit a few sessions with him from time to time. So yeah, it all seems like it's positive that way.
How do you and Flex Lewis, how did you originally meet up? Where did that happen?
Well, Flex, we used to roll in the same circles, because obviously bodybuilding over in the UK, although it's getting very popular, it's very big. It's only a small island, so people get to know each other, and it's quite close knit. So I originally met him over here at Expos, and when he was a junior, and he got his pro card at the British finals. And then once I turned pro, he reached out to me and offered his help and just guidance, really, because obviously he's been through what I'm trying to go through now, is making that transition from over here to America. So he knows how hard it can be and daunting. So hats off to him, and I'm very appreciative of him helping me on this.
You got to find an American woman to marry, right?
Better not tell my girlfriend that. No.
I'm assuming you're bringing her too.
Yes, I'll bring her too. Right. That won't go down too well if she hears that.
We're not gonna get you in trouble. We're not gonna get you in trouble. All right. Well, you know what? You obviously the Olympia less than a week now out. I'm sure you're really peaking your body out right now. When are you flying over? Do you have like any kind of like schedule that you set up for yourself? I got to fly this many days before I compete so that I don't hold water or I don't dehydrate too much. What's your schedule?
So basically, for every American show I do, I always fly out the Tuesday before because it's on the Saturday. So the 3 days gives me enough time to, obviously, the water retention on the altitude, the long haul flights, to get the water retention out and to settle in the place I'm competing at, so I can find my food and obviously a training and deplete right down, and then I start my carb up on the Thursday. So from now I am depleting down. As you can see, I'm quite drawn now, but I'm getting all the photo shoots, all the footage, all the video in every day this week, which has been great for ice retention and for tightening up even more, and then. Yeah, I'll be flying out Tuesday next week.
And will you keep the facial hair or will you shave?
No, I think it's got to come off. It's the clean cut image is men's physique, isn't it? So I think I'm going to keep the comb over though. I normally have the fringe, but I'm going to go for the comb over. But I think the facial hair is going to come off.
All right. Well, I want to make sure you're nice and clean cut, and we don't want to make you look like the evil Ryan Terry on stage, right?
Now this is the rough and ready.
I got you. Well, Ryan, best of luck. Congratulations on all the accolades you've had, the sponsorships. You can drink the water in the United States. You don't have to worry about getting any amoebas, but don't drink out of any lakes.
It's all bottled water from now on.
That's right.
Thanks for having me on, guys. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. We'll see you in Las Vegas.
Take care.
All right, and that will take us to the end of another episode of Live with RXMuscle's Iron Road to the Olympia, brought to you by SciTech Nutrition. Visit SciTechNutrition.com. I'm Dave Palumbo, and we'll see you next time.